On the last episode of Create-O-Holics, we converted our massive and ugly contraption here to a row of townhouses on the riverfront, including custom trees, a beautiful bridge, and of course the townhouses you see there. And in this episode, we are going to be building a massive building, maybe clock tower, wall, a fortification of some sort to cover up this hideous shoot tower into the middle of the sky. So welcome back to another episode on the Create-O-Holics server, episode 25, I think, maybe 26, and here we are walking over the brand new path and bridge over to our brand newly decorated area of a bunch of cool townhouses. An incredible vibe for this mystical area. Brand new custom trees. Every single house you see on this side of the river is new and was made in the last episode. This has turned out so nice, and I'm so glad that it did because it took forever. Let's get on top of here. It's a good vantage point and just enjoy our work. We made this whole thing in the last episode, and we are not done decorating or building the Stargaze Singularity Farm because we still have this ugly shoot tower that is so hideous. So we got to do something about it. And as you saw in the intro type of thing, we are going to do like maybe a tower, clock tower, a wall, something to cover this thing up, and I am so excited for it. But first, I actually haven't checked our bounty from the Stargaze Singularity. I don't even know where it is, honestly. Oh, it's over here. A thing that I didn't really consider once I built this was how in the world are we supposed to get our Stargaze Singularity so that we can actually have it. Oh my goodness. Almost a stack of 64 Stargaze Singularity? That's insane. Why is this chromatic compound wacky? I don't know. But we need a way to get the items from here, which we can actually just route this chute a little bit different to maybe just right here. I think that could work. We just open this door and we're greeted with some Stargaze Singularity, like right in front here. We have our beautiful interior with a barrel set up and a quote from everyone that has ever watched this video, commenting on how good of an interior decorator I actually am. The other major thing that we totally forgot about is in this building, the closest one to the bridge over here, and yeah, the one that we actually may need to make an interior for. I don't know if you've remembered, but eons and eons ago, I don't know why this jungle thing is here, eons and eons ago, we made a bunch of milkshakes here, and now we have them all fully automated and full, but this is the interior for it. Yeah. So let's quickly just figure out a cute little interior for this vibe. I'm just probably going to go limestone and some jungle, but let's make a little interior here. We need to make it beautiful. We need to make it lit up so I can see anything, and then we'll be good. So we got started building up the interior of this build. We first had to tear down some of the walls and get in, obviously, the floor. It took a while to get this cow set up, but once we did, we were good to go on actually making the milkshakes. And then I got set up with the entirety of the floor, a little bit of perfecting of the kind of the walls and setup, and then we got to our limestone gradient for the walls. This was like kind of the most simple limestone gradient you could ever make. You've seen it 1,000 times. And then we got to the roof where I did a diorite, calcite, and pale oak gradient, which I actually think turned out really well, but with that, we are done, so let's get back to the world. And with a little bit more interior decorating, this thing I think is now done. We have just a little bit of random stuff out of the front. We have a little customer counter table thing where the customer could be like, well, hey, I want milkshake, one milkshake, and then the person serving could be like, yes, dear. Grab a bottle, put the bottle, squirt, squirt, yummy drink, nom nom nom. Beautiful. And oh, this system, we just put a bunch of glass bottles in this barrel, it drops one out, and then we can put it on whatever thing we actually want. And the beauty of that is then it just turns back into a glass bottle. We can put it back in there and we are good. I've also thrown in just some hints of what is used here. Obviously, we can't really put like chocolate hanging from the ceiling. I guess I could do cocoa beans, but glowberries are probably the easiest. Strawberry is not a thing that exists. And then vanilla or caramel also didn't exist, so we kind of only had glowberries. But there was also this thing called a cake station from Let's Do It Bakery, which actually adds a good vibe to the area, I think. So we threw that in as well, and I think we're pretty much done here. But again, that is not the main focus of this episode. The main focus is this thing, way up here, literally taller than the clouds. It's so high up. It is at Y256 because it has to be that tall. I have beef with this mod, and that's okay. It has to be that tall, and therefore has to be so tall and ugly, and there's a chicken over there. I actually don't know how tall it is from this point. 175. So it's another 80, 90 blocks up. which is so tall. I mean, a 90 block tower is going to be massive compared to the rest of the things that I've built so far. Let's quickly run back down and see how tall this church steeple is. Or citadel steeple? Honestly, I don't know what the difference is between a church and a citadel. I think a citadel is a big Catholic church, and a church is just a general worshiping place for things. So yeah, let's check how tall this steeple is. I'll say from the ground level, we are at 69. A normal number with no funny business associated with it. And then the very top, and this is, I'm being nice. This, which does not count really, because we can't put little stabby air bits right where that contraption is. We should really be measuring from like here. But anyway, we are at 131. And I'm bad at math, so let me quickly do 131 minus 69. 62 blocks tall. It's gonna be, this is 2/3 as tall as we need to make the other thing. Which, now that I'm actually putting it into perspective, maybe it's not that tall. No, this is gigantic. Let's go over to the ground level. Ground level, real quick. Just humor me. Shut up! That's how tall it is. This is 2/3 as tall. We need to go up to there. If that were up here, that's how tall it needs to be. What am I supposed to do? I might have gotten carried away. Basically, we need a tall tower. But I think just one tower is going to be weird, out of place, and will look stupid. So I'm doing something probably more stupid and more out of place, but it'll look epic. And that is a wall, like a castle wall, that ends in like a crumbled little fashion. And then a tower here above it as like a little guard tower, maybe a clock tower if a clock tower will work up in this area, but a tower nonetheless here, wall spanning at least partially across this tall mountain. I'm thinking we do a lot of limestone, a lot of deep slate, a little bit of granite. I'm not sure how it's going to go on the granite front, but we'll get a couple of different colors in here, and I'm going to try my best to make this look super epic. So now to work out how this thing's going to work, as you can see, I've upped the budget now. We're no longer in Microsoft Paint. We're in Paint 3D or whatever. I feel very fancy, but I'm thinking, let me get gray to denote limestone. This needs to be a tower. We've already confirm that this part needs to be a tower. And then we're gonna have some super epic windows, clock up here, just for right now. I don't know if it's actually gonna be a clock tower yet, but I suspect it will be. Big window, smaller windows, and then here could be, oh, how'd I do this? Meow, meow. This is where the wall is, and then again, broken there, goes down, and then maybe we actually have like a another line system thing there so that it will like curve. I think this is going to look epic. So something like this, I think it'll look pretty okay. I am going to start with the clock tower. Once we have that set up, and actually now that I'm thinking about it, let me do a dark roof up at the top. That's like super pointy, super epic. Love me some Gothic builds. It'll fit with the citadel that we have, so I think it will still work. But I think now that we have that, we can actually get to building. We're over in our creative world now, and I am just getting in the initial wall structure and style real quick. And I just wanted to point out how crazy and bizarre angles work, because right now this looks huge and kind of weird looking, but from this lower angle, it looks like it doesn't go down far enough. And I mean, it doesn't, to be fair, but how? It's so many blocks. But here, it's like 4. So many, 4. So many, it makes no sense. I'm trying to get the arches in because I do need at least some sort of structure in my brain in order for this to actually work and stuff. That looks pretty epic from way down here. So I think that's gonna be what we're gonna do. And yeah, as I said, we are building in this like bottom wall thing first. Let's now just get in the rest of the structure. It'll be super easy, just kind of copy and pasting it. Let's get this in, and then I can show you the general structure that we're gonna try to be working with. And hopefully I don't run into any other weird weird things about like the bottom and down there land looking way different than up here. But if it does, I will be sure to bring it up because I hope you find this interesting. I definitely do. I do kind of wish some of like the better builders that I know of do these kinds of things in videos. So that's kind of why I'm doing it. But definitely let me know if you like this kind of style. I'm enjoying it. So that's why I'm doing it. This is going to be so epic. We have now our whole structure in, including the little tower thing that we have up there. I took a look at it down there, and as you saw, it looks super cool. The proportions up here look weird in my opinion, but I think down here it works. So what I'm gonna do now, just to make sure we get the depth and height and everything looks correct, I'm gonna add some of our windows that we were talking about earlier onto this little structure here so that we can get a vibe of what's going on there. And then I'm going to fill this in so that we get a general idea of what the actual build is gonna look like. Cause I mean, having it be see-through is kind of throwing me off. So let's throw in a little bit more detail, and then hopefully this is gonna look incredible. And here we are with an updated version of a little bit more detail and filled in on this clock tower. And I've decided this doesn't look that good. And I mostly decided it because I was showing it to General Ross, an amazing builder on the Create-O-Holics server, and he was like, this is dumb. And that I should put holes where these things are. And it should be a like more of a bridge looking thing than a full wall, because it's gonna be really hard to detail and it's gonna look really weird. So that's what I did. And here we are with the new clock tower, new bridge, and here is the view. Here is the view from down here, and oh boy, does this look so good. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be so much building, but it looks so darn good from down here. We are going to detail this slightly. I don't know where the mountain is. I have done so much terraforming and stuff. The mountain used to not look like this, and I don't know where it ends. Like, I think it goes like around here and then over there. So I don't want to over detail this and then this just be in the mountain. So I'm going to, obviously before we put it into our survival world, test it back in creative. But for now, this amount of detailing and stuff should be enough to get a good gist and a good look at what we want. So now it is time to paint stuff, do colors, do color palettes, make a build that looks cool. And instead of walking you through the entire process, if you want to see the whole process, you could just check out last episode where I did it for the entire Riverside townhouse kind of section. But in this one, I'm just going to speed through it. We set up our initial colors, I got to detailing, and now let's get back to the survival world. Back over in survival now, I already have a lot of our schematic cans and stuff set up, and we have a bunch of different backpacks that we're going to need to place in for all of these schematic cannons. And oh boy, do we have a lot of items to get through. I just did a material checklist of one of the four, and yeah, we need 1,000 pale oak planks, 1,000 calcite, 1,000 calcite bricks, 1,000 diorite, and that's just for one of these. So we probably need that times 6. So 6,000 of every block is going to be a ton. We have a lot of resource gathering to do, a lot of crafting, a lot of stone cutting, and we need to put them in all of these backpacks that I have already upgraded to diamond level and given our stack upgrades to. So with the schematics ready to go, we just have to get to resource gathering. So let's go. And I already said this is going to be a lot of stone cutting and a lot of crafting, but we did have to drop down a masonry table and an alchemy table just so we could get all of the kind of niche blocks that we needed. And then the other main block type that we needed was pale oak, which we don't have any of. So I spent quite a bit of time just bone mealing this oak farm to get a ton of oak logs. And then we went straight back to crafting, straight back to stone cutting, and just filtering through all the items into each of the backpacks. But now we're done. So let's get back to the world. And here we are back on the server now with all of these filled up with all of the items that we need. And when I tell you how many items this is an insane amount. This one, obviously we're not using all of the ones in here. This is just my general building backpack, but all of these we're using 1,000 plus, almost 2,000, 1,000 plus, 300, 600, 2,000 almost, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. There's so many items in this thing. It is so many. And when I tell you it'll be so worth it once we get this in, I mean it. But before we do that, there's something that I have completely forgotten about, and you probably have too, unless you've been recently watching some of my older videos, and that is over in this direction. And this might be ringing some bells for people, but we need to head over to this place over here, and I think this balcony. Oh yeah, so I don't know if you remember this, but eons and eons ago, and I'm just getting through we have a guest room, and we paid this, I don't know how much we paid for this. I think it was a couple netherite ingots to get this room, but we had Madden decorate it, and we said it needed to be decorated in a few days after Dewstream and I talked to him, and I'm pretty sure it's been like 3 months. So terribly sorry, man, for not showing off your build earlier, but let's check it out. As you can see, what a vibe. I mean, the mangrove planked patterns around the top of the thing is like a crown molding, looks so good. We have beds with enough room for Jesus in the middle, a little bookshelf, which has Ench Powder 1. Don't know what that means, but like, wow, everything in here is just so nice. A little globe. Oh, I got an achievement at ludicrous speeds. We got a little desk thing here. This is just so great. I'm always super hype about seeing like other people's interior decoration styles, because this is obviously so modded and it looks like an actual bedroom. Like, I don't think I've ever made a bedroom in Minecraft that doesn't look like a Minecraft bedroom, but like I could spend my life in here. A little desk, worky, go to sleep. But this isn't the only thing that we asked about, queried about, and I mean, I like following the rules in real life, but this isn't real life, and I think Madden said maybe, and would talk to the other Mr. Zero. All right. He said he'd like talk to the investors about our inquiry, but down here there was, where are we? Oh, we're still on the first floor. Down here there was potentially ample space for additional, let's say, laboratories of some sort, and maybe we would need to make the space ourselves. Oh, he might be solving crime in there. I don't want to mess up the crime scene. But down here, we had talks of potentially creating a secret second basement. So maybe not so above code regulations that I think maybe we tap into this afternoon. And I'm thinking this big barrel from Let's Do It Brewery may be exactly what I'm looking for. All right, I think with this now, there we go. And then we can walk down into our secret lair, and then, ta-da! Completely invisible from the inside. How do I get out? And the escape hatch. So now we can dig on our own and make evil plans. So evil. And now I think we're low enough to avoid any suspicion. So, there we go. A suitably evil basement with apparently a bar graph over on this side that I made accidentally that we will get to in the next episode. But now I think we're ready to build the biggest castle, the biggest build, honestly, just period, that I have ever made, and the only castle looking bit that's actually a clock tower, but maybe it's a castle if you look at a castle hard enough. It's time to build it. So let's open up our secret passageway and skedaddle out of here. And as we fly back towards our base, with the last time we will ever see the ugly shoot tower, let's get to building in this massive building. The first time that you've seen it properly in the video, let's get to it. The build is done. Oh my goodness, does it look so epic. It's actually crazy how this thing dwarfs this mountain. This mountain is 200 blocks from sea level, and this building makes it look small. It makes it look short. It is probably another 50 blocks above this mountain, and this thing makes it look so tiny. And just the scale of it makes it look so much better than I thought it would. Let's take off this elytra and we can head up to this thing. This took not as long as you would think to design and build, because we just did the outside and it's pretty simple, all things considered. If I was doing the interior, I would still be designing it. So kind of the main focus is going to be the clock tower here. It is pretty epic. It tells the actual time in the day, a 12-hour time. It's pretty cool. We have our main floor level here with, I guess, just the bridge that leads to nowhere. It is lined with a bunch of stuff. I'm using shaders because this build is epic with shaders on. We have this bridge thing that I guess historically maybe would have led somewhere, and I can't even imagine what kind of massive build it would have led to, but it maybe leads to somewhere. We have our little entrance in here where we have a kind of basic interior, kind of the only place with an interior, and a bunch of chutes in the middle of it. But that's fine, we're not going to come up here that often. And then we head down to a couple of smaller windows that I just added some glowy foggy glass so that it looks super cool from down below. And then further down even, we're kind of building into the mountain, so I couldn't do real windows. So instead we just did fake windows, and it actually turned out really well. I'm really a big fan of how this looks. We have little stupid little window things here, like little slits with just trapdoors behind them, and I'm using fence gates here to bring in these diorite walls and give it a little bit of an arch, which I think actually makes it look really, really good. But that's the build. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe before you click off the video, and I hope you enjoyed the video in general. In the next episode, we're hopefully going to finish off this build down here, and we may begin work on the laboratory that we got started on in this episode. But that's going to be it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. So, I suppose, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all in the next one. Like and subscribe as always, and peace.